Hello, League, and welcome to the preview of our Week 12 matchups. There's only 2 weeks left in the regular season. Both games will be played, obviously, within some of these divisions and some nice rivalry games we got going on. So to help me preview these upcoming 2 weeks, I got my good friend and colleague and esteemed fantasy football owner, Rick Vogel, on the line. Rick, how you doing?
I'm actually not doing too great. I expected to be doing better, but a surprise twist late on Sunday night ended my fantasy week pretty shitty.
All right, well, we'll get into that. We'll get into all the different scenarios for all the different divisions. But first, some hot off the press news a trade between Nate and Bullet. So, Nate trades Bullet, Odell Beckham Jr., and a first round pick for Mike Evans and LeGarrette Blount.
My jaw hit the floor.
That is Nate's really.
Let me pull up Nate. I need to look at Nate's team to see if this makes any sense.
Nate must be really pushing for the playoffs right here, even though he's
all in.
He's currently like the 6th seed, I believe, at the moment. Odell and a first round pick.
There's not that big of a difference between Evans and Odell.
Right. But Blount wouldn't be a first round pick.
Slight edge for Odell.
And
then, I don't know, first round for LeGarrette Blount, that might be tough too. But if Nate wants to go all in this year, then it probably is a good trade.
He's going balls to the wall. Yes, Rick?
Okay. I know, I'm trying to see if he even needs, LeGarrette. Because he's got Thomas Rawls, who's now the starter by far in Seattle, and Melvin Gordon. So I guess he'll put Blount in the flex. He's definitely better with the trade. It's just he doesn't have a first round next year, so.
Right. The kid who was thrown in the white flag at the draft is making some late moves to push for the playoffs.
Yeah, well, he's still in that 6th spot.
And
I like it, Nate. I like it. Even if it hurts you next year, why not go for it this year?
Rick approves. All right, so we got some divisions to talk about. And I would like to start down south with your division, Rick.
I'm up north.
So, in first place, we have Geno Smith's Jawline at 7-4. Second place, we have Phil Secretary at 5-6. And then Scud Top Bless Bottom, who made a pretty aggressive video last week, is 3 games below 500. And the Nightman Cometh in last place. Oh, I hate to do that pun to you, but it set itself up. Rick, would you like to talk a little about what you think your division is shaping up to be as we head towards these final weeks?
Okay. Sure. Well, I'll start by saying Josh has it all but locked up. Because he just needs to win one of his last 2 games. And he's playing Nick this week, who, even though Nick beat me last week, the odds of Nick putting up 100 are very slim. So, Josh can just take care of business and get the win this week. He will have the division locked up. And, because he's at 7-4, he'll most likely have a bye in the playoffs, too. So, with that being said, even though Nick beat me this week, I think he's still trash. He'll lose his last 2 and finish 5-8. And then, me and Bullet play each other this week.
Ooh.
We're both at 4-7, tied for last. But we cannot both make the playoffs, that's for certain. But the winner of me and Bullet will be 5-7, and then if the winner of that game also wins their last game, they'll be at 6-7, and we have more points scored than anyone at 5-6 except Nate. So there'd be a chance for if either me or Bullet went out. So Bullet threw in the white flag. I half did, but we're not completely out of it yet. It's just have to win those last 2, and then you might need a little other help.
Yeah, the other division is weird. There are 3 teams in the other division that have over 1,000 points for. There's only 2 in the Delco and 1 in the Penn State. And meanwhile, here you guys are. 2 of you are at 4-7 with over 1,000 points scored. So
It's just the way it stakes up.
It's just a weird. Get the W first, score the points second. That's what.
I mean, one thing about Bullet, like we talked about how he's the highest scoring team in the league, and I was looking at his scores. I forget, like last week. I mean, a lot of those high scoring comes just from a week where he puts up like 140. It's not like Bullet's had plenty of not great weeks also. Like, it's not like he's scoring 100 every week and losing.
Right.
Like, he'll mix in like a couple 140s to pull his score way up, but then he also has his 80s in there, which are his losing weeks.
Right.
So yeah, with that being said, though, if Bullet can get to 6-7, he has to be almost guaranteed a playoff spot, assuming that he's still a high-scoring team in the league.
Right.
So
Okay.
Bullet, you tossed in the white flag, but all you have to do is beat me, then Nick. Consider that.
That's true. Bullet's going to have probably, looks like he's going to end up with the highest amount of points scored. So, there you have it. So then moving on to the Delco division, we have Carter leading the way after a big win. Him and Brendan were tied for first, but he pulled out the W there. So he's leading at 8-3. Brendan then follows behind at 7-4. Then we have Jude at 6-5, and Bob, the worst team in the league, at 4-7. This division is still really interesting because it looks like obviously two teams from this division are going to be going to the playoffs. It's just which two, because
I think that is guaranteed.
I don't know if it's.
I think it's guaranteed that either Brendan or Jude will.
Jude could still lose twice and finish 6-7.
Jude can easily, if Brendan finishes 7-4. I mean, Brendan has a good points for, so he'd need a lot to go against him.
Right, Brendan is almost. Yeah, he would need to lose both of his last games and have everyone else put up a good amount of points. But
and he's already Carter, so it would be against Bob and Jude that Brendan would have to lose both.
Right. So it's looking like 2 out of the 6 teams are at least. I don't know if there's a certain area where you could pull out 3 of these teams if Bob, Brendan, and Jude could all make the playoffs.
Bob's points are so low, he might be in trouble.
Bob's?
Yeah, were you saying is there a scenario where it could be Brendan, Jude, and Bobby in the 3 wild cards?
Brendan, Jude, and... No, Bob can't.
That's what it looks like. He's not completely eliminated, but...
No, he's completely eliminated from the division. He's 4 games back in his own division. Yes, he's not statistically eliminated from the wild card. It would be hard. He has the lowest amount of points scored of anyone in the league. So yes, it's looking slim for Bob. I believe I put him at the lowest amount of chances to make the playoffs, which is fair because he's worst. But this division, I don't know. Brendan and Carter. The thing is, this week these last 2 weeks feel like playoff games for everyone.
Definitely.
So, I mean, there are a lot of teams. For the first time ever, this has to be a league record. We have 2 games left in the season, and no one is eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, that's definitely never happened.
Which was, I'm not trying to, talk myself up or anything, but this was the point of going to keepers, was that each team would have a competitive enough team to stay in it for the long run. And just looking at numbers, I mean, just no one's 3, like, we have no one who's 3-8 or worse. It's I don't know. That's crazy. It has to be the first time ever. Let's head up to the Penn State division because things are very, very, very interesting in the Penn State division. So, in first is a hurting Ryan Blessington. He is now 6-5 what did he lose? Four straight, I think his streak is at. Then Nate, it's Nate, then Kev, then me, all at 5 and 6, one game behind first. So, and I've done these scenarios a little bit in my head. Essentially, these games this week are playoff games for us, because whoever loses has a very, 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 very tough road to the playoffs. If Nate beats me, I'm essentially done, because the only hope of me getting to the playoffs is through the division. I'm not gonna win a wild card. I don't have enough points scored. So if Nate beats me, I'm pretty much done. If I beat Nate is essentially done, because then he'll be 2 games, or he'll either be 2 games behind Bless or a game behind me and Kev. And me and Kev play each other week 13, so he wouldn't be able to catch up in time. So, and there's similar situations with Kev and Bless. So it's pretty much lose and go home at this point in our division, because with one game separating all 4 teams, it's too close now to let up. With only 2 games left, it's too close to let up a game like that. Now, yeah, so if we look at the race for the Dungey currently, we have Carter at the number 1 overall, which is that whoever wins that division is going to be the number 1 overall, it looks like. Then at number 2, we have Josh. 3, we have Blast, just because he wins the division barely. 4, Brendan. 5, Jude. 6, Nate. 7, Kev. 8, me. 9, Nick. 10, Bullet. 10, dude. You just made this whole big video, and you're 10th. 11, Rick, and 12, Bob. I don't know. This is too close. This is too close to call. Last year, at this point, we were already having we had half of the brackets shaped up. The only games that really mattered were 1 in each division. Oh, man.
So, is it time to go over some scenarios or predictions, or what do you want to do?
Rick, I would love for you to go over some scenarios and some predictions.
Okay, let me think, because I'm going to kind of be coming up with these scenarios on the fly.
Okay.
I'll start with the top. I'll start with Carter. Obviously, he can clinch his division with a win and Brendan losing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if Carter just wins this week, he will clinch a bye in the first round of the playoffs. So he can lock that up if he just gets to 9-3.
That's true.
If he wins either of the last 2 weeks, he will have a bye. So
yeah.
He's close to that. Josh, if he wins and no one goes... If he wins and Ryan loses, he'll have a bye as well. And also, Josh wins my division with just a win. No real scenarios to talk about in the Penn State division because of how close it is. Like Dan said, they're all pretty much playoff games. Brendan, if Brendan wins this week, he'll lock up a playoff spot. Jude cannot clinch this week because someone will have to get to 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, any of the 4 and 7s with a loss will be guaranteed eliminated because someone will also be 6-6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it has to be impossible for a 5 and 8 to sneak in. I'm not even sure if 6 and 7 will end up being on it. That'll be decided by who wins what.
Yeah.
It probably looks like it'll be. See, this is too impossible to say. I feel like there will be a 6 and 7 in that 6 seed though when it shakes up at the end. No. I don't think we'll get 6 teams to finish above 500.
No, I agree with you there.
Let's see if there's anything at the bottom. No one can really clinch anything like a bye in the SACA round yet because it's still so close. Even Bob. Just because we're tied,
no,
even though he has less points scored.
Yeah.
Do you want to make any predictions in this video for final 2 weeks? Anything different than last week?
I think we should each make one bold prediction.
Okay. Like anything?
Anything at all. Doesn't have to do with anything. Doesn't have to do with any team or division or playoffs. Just one bold prediction.
Okay. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
I would like you to go first.
Okay. Unfortunately, my bold prediction is not that I will finish 6 and 7 and make the playoffs. I'm not feeling too confident in my team after this past weekend. So, I'm already looking forward to next year. Trust the process. Sam Hinkie.
Mm-hmm.
So my bold prediction does not involve me. I think I'm actually going to predict, unfortunately for you, Dan, that Nate will make a surprise comeback and win the Penn State division.
It's not really a comeback, though. That's the thing.
Well, he's coming back on Bless to take over the division lead.
If Nate wins this game, it'll be a Nate Bless Week 13 heads-up showdown for who wins the division.
Yeah. So I'm saying, I think Bless will probably still win this week against Kev. I'm not sure. That'll be close. But either way, it'll be Nate versus Bless.
I don't know. Bless put up 58 and Kev put up over 100, so...
Really? Well, I don't know.
Really?
Bless is still alright, even though I just saw he lost AJ Green.
Gronk's still hurting.
In that final week matchup between Nate and Ryan, I'm picking Nate to get that 3 seed and win that division. I think that's the only bold prediction I
have. This isn't my bold prediction, but the Penn State division is only going to send one person to the playoffs. That's pretty much set. Whoever wins the division is going to win the division barely and get lucky that they're in this shitty division, and the rest are not going to have enough points to break the tiebreak. My bold prediction. This is tough. There's so many different things. This is so hard. Do we know what are the Delco matchups this week?
Delco matchups. Well, we know Brendan and Carter played last week.
Mm-hmm.
So Jude is against Carter. Brendan's against Bob.
My bold prediction.
Here's a question, though.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
We didn't talk about Jude too much. The surprise 2-time Sacco back-to-back. Currently at 6 and 5 in the playoffs. So his last 2 games are against Carter and Brendan. And he probably just needs to win one of those to make the playoffs. So will he pull it off or not? My
bold prediction is Brendan's going to lose his last 2 games and Jude's going to take the wild card spot.
Okay, but does Brendan still get in at 7 and 6? Probably, right? Based on what we said.
Yes, most likely. Yeah.
Leaving one spot for.
My bold prediction is that
3
three teams from the Delco division are going to get in. So there's going to be 3 division winners, then 2 other teams from the Delco division, which then leaves
whoever can survive the 5 and 6, possibly 4 and 7 of those teams. For all fighting for one spot.
Right. So if I were to lose to Nate and then win against Kev,
you have a chance still.
I'm rooting for Nate to win the division. If Nate doesn't win the division, I can't go to the playoffs. Either I have to win.
Point scored.
Yeah. Either I have to win the division or Nate has to win the division because Nate has almost 100 extra points scored than I do. But if Nate wins the division, then the next person would be Bless, who only has not even 20 more points than I do. So if I could go 6 and 7, it would really just depend. Everyone needs to put up points. we're past the time where we're past the just win thing. Everyone needs to put up points because these tiebreakers are close. And I was also found something interesting. I was sneaking around the league history, which we have on CBS, which is interesting that I just found out. And the most points. Where is it?
It doesn't count anything from this year yet, though, I don't think.
No, it doesn't, and I know that. But it was.
I don't know what you're gonna say. What did you say?
Most points scored in a season is 17-18 last year by Bless.
I think that counts playoffs too.
I think it does too, but that's 700 points more than we have right now leading with 5 weeks left. And wow, who knew that Reggie and the Burning Bush only had 2 less points scored than Bless did last year? I didn't.
Well, Bless had a whole less games played than the other 2 below him.
You're right.
And he still has most points.
Oh, man.
That's pretty insane.
Also, the least points scored in a game goes to Burger Lips with 21. Does anyone remember that? Because I sure don't. 21 points?
I think it was against me because it says least points allowed, and I have the record.
21 points?
He probably started like 3 people.
Oh my god.
He had 6 buys or something.
No wonder he's not in the league anymore. Anyway.
That was a playoff team last year, and me and you weren't, Dan. Just let that sink in.
Yeah, so another thing I'd like to talk about is just real quick, commissionership. So I'm a man of my word, and I stand by what I said after week 2, I believe it was, that if I do not make the playoffs, I will step down as commissioner effective January 1. But the question is, how do we figure out who our next commissioner is? Now, there are a few different ways we can go about this. We can either just have me appoint someone. We could, I kind of like campaigning and voting. That's kind of fun to me. But it's like the Electoral College, where like the better.
What if we did like Electoral College by division or something?
I was gonna say Electoral College by
3 electoral votes.
I was gonna say Electoral College by how well you finished in your division.
Wow. So this is all about just rewarding good performance in the league, I guess.
Well, because if you come in last place, I don't want you really picking the commissioner necessarily.
Can't argue with the logic about it, really.
The best teams are going to want to be the most competitive and going to want to have the best league, is just what I'm thinking. So I'm just saying, like, whoever wins the division gets 4 electoral votes. Second, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Or we can do it overall champion all the way down 12-1.
That seems like too much power for the. I like the 4-1, but also because I'm gonna finish low probably. So
12-1 would be dope.
If you miss the playoffs, I guess this can be your last decision you make. You can decide how the new one gets elected.
That's true. I can do that, but
I definitely think we should have an election with campaign videos and attack ads and stuff.
I think we should as well. I think we should elect the new president, commissioner. The new.
Does that mean people have a running mate too?
Oh, that's interesting.
So we have a running mate for the new vice commissioner?
Because I currently have a vice commissioner, and his name is Rick Vogler. We made fantasy great again. We really did. We really turned around this whole thing. Even though I'm in my, 7th term as commissioner. Well, maybe I won't lose. Maybe I'll make the playoffs and we won't have to worry about it. But I do like
a lot of stuff to look forward to these next few weeks.
It's gonna be real intense. And what's better than a tight playoff race and Thursday Thanksgiving football? Nothing. Getting butthurt while with your family. Nothing like it. Well, looks like that about wraps this up. Anything else? Any last words, Rick?
I think I'm alright. Bullet, I'm coming for you this week. Piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all of these videos that people are talking about posting. Josh said he was going to post one.
Josh and Bob, right?
Bob said he was going to post one. Bullet is just disgraced after the video he posted last week, and then now he's been 4-7 and threw in the white flag a week later. I don't know. It's going to be an exciting last 2 weeks in fantasy. No doubt about it. For Rick Vogler, I'm your Commissioner Dan Skodlowski. Thank you.